Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be talking about a new UK grading company. Now, I'm sure most of you will have seen the announcement today from Randolph that he is starting a new UK grading company called Ace Grading. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little talk about the UK and the whole UK grading scene in general, Ace Grading, also have a little look at their slabs because they actually put that on the YouTube video that came out literally earlier this evening. So I'm doing this video very, very quickly, but I was kind of waiting for this announcement, intrigued to see what it was going to be about, intrigued to see what it was all going to look like. So to start with, Randolph, as most of you know, PokeRand, he is a very big Pokemon YouTuber here in the UK, just big social media influencer as well. So him and the guys from Graded Gem, Connor and Tom, have started a UK grading company called Ace Grading. So Graded Gem actually put out an update yesterday, I think it was, where they were speaking about their relationship with PSA going forward and that they're not going to be working with them anymore and that Tom has actually left Graded Gem. So it'll be interesting to see if those guys start to make an appearance on the Ace Grading videos and the socials, because at the moment it's just been Randolph that's introduced this to everyone that we can see. So, Ace Grading, UK grading company. We have quite a few UK grading companies. A lot of them I haven't even heard of. Like when I've heard people mention them, there's some I've never even heard of before. There is some I have heard of, and there is a couple that I have used myself. Everyone has to start somewhere. So I know people are very quick to slate a grading company as soon as it appears, but at the end of the day, everyone has to appear from somewhere and start from nothing and build up. So I feel like everyone should be given a chance, but I think the way they come across and what their slabs look like and their service levels, etc., will all add in and put into how people portray them and if people want to use them and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little look at the Ace Grading slabs, and I will let you know what I think of them, but I'd also be intrigued to know in the comments what you guys think of them as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little look at the slabs. I've picked parts of the video that Randolph put out this evening, and it shows the different label options. So basically, PSA, Beckett, CGC, etc., they have one label. You look at that slab and you know straight away, well, I do anyway, that it's PSA, it's Beckett, or whatever it is. Yes, PSA slabs are quite bland, but to me they do the job. I look at them, I know exactly what they are. Ace Grading are taking a different approach to this, and I'm going to show you each variation of what they've announced. So they've got 3 label types, so we're going to look at the first one, as you can see here, and I'm just going to say this very quickly. I personally am not keen on this, and I'll explain a bit in a minute why I don't like this. But what I will say is I really, really like the back. I know you're not going to have the slab facing the wrong way and no one's really going to be looking at the back. But I personally would have picked the back of the label to have as their label. But let's have a look. So here we go.
Standard label, we have the colour match label, and then we have the elusive Ace label.
Right, so very quickly you can see there's 3 different versions. They're standard, they're colour match, and then they've got this exclusive label as well. I think for me, it's just there's a lot going on with it. So I look at it, and obviously colour match, they'll explain in a minute, is going to be colour matched to the card that's in the case. And I just think if someone had a display of Ace Grading, I could just... It's just like there's just so much going on. There's going to be colours everywhere. And don't get me wrong, some people are going to love that if they prefer that kind of look, but I prefer, maybe it's because I'm bland and boring, I do prefer just a standard plain label where I can look at the slab straight away and be like, oh, that's so and so. Whereas to begin with Ace Grading, because it's so colourful, it might be hard to distinguish straight away, although I can see they have got their little logo there on the bottom. But let's have a look.
Card we offer. And now let's move on to the colour match label. I can already tell the colour match is going to be a fan.
Okay, so there's, just have a look at the label. There's the massive grade that you can see, obviously on the other side, the details of the card, and yeah, the label is colour matched to Charmeleon. For me, I just prefer to look at a slab and know exactly where it's from, and don't get me wrong, it's a really different idea. Like, it's all very customizable, you don't see it, but personally, maybe it's because, you know, whenever there's change, people don't always like change. Maybe I'm one of those people, but I don't know how I feel about the 3 different labels. So there we go, and then you can just have a look at it again. So it's obviously taking inspiration from that card. What I will do is we'll have a little look at their exclusive Ace label. Now, the other two labels, so the colour match and the standard, from what I've understood, is available for every card on every service level, whereas this label here is the more exclusive version.
Premium label offering, and this label is completely custom to that individual card, and it's not available for every single card. It's only available for the best, the most extravagant, and
so that's not just taking the colour from the card, that's taking everything from the card, the design, the lot. Now, personally, this is what I prefer. I think, obviously, you know, what they've come up with is very creative, very colourful. It looks very good, but I personally like that. If that was the front of the label, I just think straight away you'd look at it and you know it's Ace grading. So those are the three labels that they offer. Something I wanted to point out that I noticed, and I'm going to keep it on this screen just so you can see it here, is the QR code is slightly off center, but he did say at the beginning of this video, this is a prototype. So this isn't like the finalized polished product from what I've understood from the video. And if you can see down here, the corners are rounded, but up here they're actually square. So I wondered if they've done that so that they could work out whether they want it one way or the other. Again, they've said it's a prototype, so this might all change by the time we see the actual finalized product. Something else that they don't have on the slabs, and Randy did speak about it in the video, is subgrades. Obviously, PSA don't do that, but they're the market leader. They don't need to do that. Beckett do it. CGC do it. Some of the other companies that are in the UK do it. I'll show you an example towards the end as well, because I actually have one of those slabs. Now, there might be a number of reasons they've done this for. They might not like the way it looks when you have the subgrades on the label. Fair enough. They might have done it to save time. Again, fair enough. But I think maybe when a newcomer company is coming, subgrades are, in my opinion, quite a good idea. Gives you a more in-depth understanding of how the card's been graded. But like I said, PSA don't do it, but they're PSA. So, but again, it isn't always fair to compare everyone to PSA because you can't. PSA have been around for years, and any new company is not just going to hit the market and suddenly become the next PSA. It's going to take consistency, growing that customer base. There is so much that goes into it. Something I wanted to quickly mention before I take this off the screen is obviously Randy did say it was a prototype, but the card in here is in a 10 label, but it's got like whitening and bad off centering. So I assume they've just put that card in there as an example, and that's not actually going to be their grading system, just in case anyone noticed that and pointed that out. Okay, so let's go back to me, and we will carry on talking about the company. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I think are really good and I really do like, and that is their allocation system. So Randolph explained that when you submit the cards online, what's going to happen is basically their system is going to know when they're near capacity, and what will happen is that service level will get paused. Where PSA have got so overwhelmed and had to close down, they're obviously putting a step in to avoid that. So yeah, it's going to know when it's nearing capacity, and it will just not allow you to submit cards, I assume. They haven't actually got their website up and running yet. From what I can see, they've got all their socials going, but I couldn't see a link to their website. So unless anyone found that and I was missing it, please let me know. But I assume the website will be coming when they sort of finish up all the final details, and we'll get to see that and how it works. So yeah, having that in place I think is a good thing because it stops the chaos before it happens. But I think it's one of those things we have to wait to see it in action and see how it actually works. So their price point, again, is something I want to speak about. Another positive that I think is good, it's affordable. So I've made a note here. He said in the video it was £10 a card for their bulk service, and there is a limit of 60 cards per person, and it's also a 60-day turnaround on their bulk service. And then it's £15 a card for their standard service, and that's a 30-day turnaround. And what they've said is they are going to offer higher service levels, but they're going to wait to do that. That's, I assume, something they might release in a couple of months' time. I think they just want to get going and then see how everything goes, and then they can decide on their express levels and the timings for that. But like I said, there isn't a website up and running that I can see at the moment. I was hoping there would be so that I could maybe go through it with you, but I couldn't see anything. So let me know if I've missed that. But from what I can see, it's just their social pages. So Hopefully when the website's up and running, we'll be able to see all their different service levels and everything in a little bit more detail. But like I said, price point is good. It's affordable. I think that's a good thing for the UK. Obviously, the main people that everyone submits to from the UK obviously would be PSA, and submitting to America, especially when you don't use a middleman, for some people it can be a lot, and it can be a lot of hassle and worrying that it's going to get there. So having somewhere in the UK, it just makes things easier. But like I said, they're not the first UK grading company. There is a lot of UK grading companies, and I have got a couple of slab examples which I will show you in a minute, from two UK grading companies. One I've used myself, and one sent me a slab, just so I could give it like my honest opinion and honest review, and you'll be able to see what their labels look like as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the UK slabs I have, just so you can have a little look what we've got here in the UK. And I actually wanted to do a comparison, because what Randy was saying about the slabs that Ace Grading are going to use, it's got that more premium feel, and to me it looks like, and it comes across like more like a Beckett slab. And I've got an example here, I'll show you to the camera. So it's a bigger slab, and the thickness on that, and I'm just going to show you compared. I'm going to show you this. Now this is a freebie that someone sent me. I've never used this company before myself, but I was actually really shocked at what the slab was like. So I'm just going to show you. I don't know if you can see. I mean, it's a stark difference. This is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's really flimsy. It just doesn't even feel like secure, whereas Beckett is like a solid, thick, really thick slab. Personally, I prefer PSA slabs. I think these are a little bit too bulky. And then another comparison, I've got a tree frog slab here. Again, compared to Beckett, you can see the thickness is quite different. That's what the tree frog label looks like, and the back. And then I have got Good Bros Grading actually reached out to me and wanted to send me a slab, and basically give my honest review on it. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to show it. So that is Good Bros. So they have like a star system. Again, I prefer a more basic label, like PSA, not too much color, not too much going on. I don't know if, like, where it says 8 on the grade, I don't know if that changes color at all, because I know the Tree Frog one does. And again, that's the back, and it has their website on it. But again, compared to Beckett, this is just a more premium feel slab. If you've got a Beckett slab, you'll know what I mean. But like the thickness compared to those three, I just thought it was a good comparison to show you what that's like. So from what Randy is saying, he is saying their slab is a more premium feel. It's a more premium version maybe of what is currently out there at the moment. So overall, I think it's a good thing for the UK. I think the UK doesn't at the moment have a grading company that compares to PSA. I mean, it's not going to. There hasn't anyone been around long enough. So everyone's got to start somewhere. You've got to give everyone a chance. It'll be interesting to see once the prototype is more finalised, what their website looks like, etc. At the moment, we just had a little bit of information, but obviously there'll be more information coming. So the main points I take away from the video that Randy released is, I personally really like the allocation system that has the ability to pause the service level when it gets near capacity, so we avoid the chaos that PSA have been dealing with, where they've had to open, close, stop certain service levels, etc. I also like the fact that they're affordable. I think it makes it accessible for more of the community, which is a good thing. They're not starting off with ridiculous prices, and you are getting a premium feel slab, premium look slab, as Randy described. For me personally, I don't like the 3 labels. For me, I look, like I said earlier, I like to look at my slabs, know exactly where they're from. PSA is bland. It hasn't got all the bells and whistles, but it does the job for me. But that's just a personal opinion. Some people are going to like the difference, like the creativity, like the colours, like the customization. But for me personally, it would not necessarily, yeah, in a way put me off sending there, because I like my slabs to be uniform. And don't get me wrong, I could get all of the standard slabs, but again, I just prefer the basicness of the PSA style label in comparison to all the big letters and bright colours. But I know some of you out there are going to like that because it is something a bit different. Another thing I want to say is I do really like the back of their label. Like I said, you're not going to be having the slabs turned round, so it's kind of doesn't really matter as much. And the security features as well look really, really good. So for me, there's pluses, minuses, but I think that's going to be like that with anyone who starts a new grading company. I think you have to let them come into the space, give them a chance, let them get going with it as well. I think it'll be interesting to see how their value compares. So once they've been around for a while and there's a lot of slabs out there, how the value holds up against something like PSA. Obviously, you can't really compare it to PSA. PSA has been around so long. I don't know if anything's ever going to, make it to the point where you can hold it against PSA value. But again, it would be more the labels for me coming across more novelty than the PSA, which is a bit more, again, to me, professional looking. But that's my personal opinion. That's just how I feel about it. But I think they've really hit the nail on the head with some things. So I'm looking forward to seeing the launch of the website, seeing more information when it comes out. So yeah, that was my sort of kind of a little review video on the ACE grading, the big announcement that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens next. So if you haven't already, please leave a like, please hit subscribe, make sure to turn on that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon.